Hello, everyone. You're welcome to another edition of the Encouragement Series. My name is Josephine Omoni. I'm the host, and you can call me the Encourager if you do not know. All right, so basically, the encouragement series is a monthly virtual experience where we bring different professionals, different individuals from different walks of life, where they talk to us about their mental health journey, basically to inspire, to motivate, and to educate us all about our mental health. So some of the episodes that we've had discussions about my mental health as a first-time mom, as a first-time dad, after a loss, my mental health in relation to mental decluttering. So a lot of episodes really address different works of life. We talked about my mental health as a Nigerian business owner, the male edition, the female edition, basically to encourage and to inspire different professionals in their different works of life, just making sure that they are motivated to commit to improving their mental health. They are redefining the true definition of mental health, and of course, inspiring us all to live a life of meaning and purpose. As you all know, I'm all about purpose and meaning. So, conversations are going to be going along that route. And I have with me an amazing guest for today's show. In fact, we're going to be talking about managing stress effectively. Managing stress effectively. I know when I posted this flyer, a lot of people were like, "Oh, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here. I need this. I need that." We all know that life currently is lifing, if I can use that word. So, whatever, wherever you're joining us from, Nigeria, the United Kingdom, the US, Australia, wherever you are, I'm very sure that is either you're going through stress now, all right, or you have gone through stress in the past. So it's important that we learn how we can manage stress effectively. Some of the conversations that you're going to see when I bring up our special guest is the fact that there's some levels of stress that are needed. Yes, we need some level of stress in our life, in our lives. Even when WHO defines mental health, they'll say they are towards the end for us to be able to cope with the normal stresses of life. So it's important that we understand the different kinds of stressors, how we can respond effectively, and of course, how our mental health can improve. So without wasting much of our time, I'm going to be bringing up our guest. His name is Dr. Toby Loba Ojo, also known as Daddy Ojo. Um, you won't even know that he's a medical doctor, but let me just quickly read his bio before I say a few things about him, and we just get right into it. So, Dr. Tobiloba Ojo, please, you can call him Daddy Ojo. He's a medical doctor. He's also an author. He's an on-air personality, and he's a public speaker. So, Daddy Ojo's writings, his speeches, and his trainings, it borders on health, it borders on wellness, impactful living, and harnessing our potentials, as well as how we can develop resilience, persistence, and the ability for us to scale through a cluttered mind space in a stress-free manner through life skills. In fact, Dr. Tobiloba Ojo has written a book on stress. So we're going to talk about that towards the end of the show, how you can get his resources, and just basically be intentional about living a stress-free life. So thank you so much, Dr. Tobiloba Ojo, for joining us for this month's edition. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for the encouragement. Yes, the encourager is saying thank you for the encouragement. I've worked with you. I think it's been a year now, or less than
Yeah,
a year,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
I've known you all my life. Thank you for your dedication to excellence. Thank you for introducing me
Oh,
to.
thank you so much for whining me. No, thank you so much for
Um,
having me. Actually, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
all
And
right, thank
good
you so
evening,
much.
good afternoon, good morning to everyone listening. Whatever time zone you are, just know that you are in for something fantastic, something that we all need, and that is stress management. We all go
Yes.
through stress, and that's all what this conversation will be about. And you're in for a good time, actually.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, sir. So if you're just joining us, please call someone that you know is always stressed and doesn't know how to manage themselves. Call that person, send the link to the person right away, and let them join. All right, Dr. Tobiloba Joe, or let me just call you Daniel Joe, since that's your brand name. So Daniel Joe, what exactly is stress? And then, so it's two questions in one. What exactly is stress? And what are the implications on our physical health and our mental health? So please, sir, no medical terms. We just want to understand what it is, layman terms. Yes, thank you.
Definitely. Like one of the, I would say one of the gifts I have is that I'm very relatable. Most times when I'm speaking with clients, I call my patients clients because we when we talk about life. We don't just talk about, oh, you are ill. Usually there's a disease and there's a stress behind all those things that we call oh, the manifestations of all those ailments. So we know that the 21st century woman does not carry ailments to battle as it was of old. We know that our daily battles is more sophisticated than that. You are battling with your computers to meet up with deadlines. You are battling with the economy, global economy, to keep providing the changing world dynamics, the politics. All this place a demand on you, and you must definitely know how to manage stress and avoid burnout. So you know that you must eat well, you must exercise well, you must relate well, you must sleep well to be able to achieve this balance. So how do we now define stress? Like mental stress. When it comes to mental stress, WHO said that mental stress is a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation. So stress is our response to the difficult situation. Stress is not the situation. It is your response to what is overwhelming, what is challenging. Because what will stress me might not stress you. We have
Yes.
different capacities to cope with stress. And what might stress you that you might say is a big deal might not stress the encourager. So that is what we should know, that stress is what we deal with, and our response is what stresses us, or we are able to cope and scale up. So the body has two choices when it comes through a demanding situation. Are you fighting? You can see
Mm-hmm.
the boxing, or are you running away?
Running away.
So they call that the flight and fight response. So for you to understand that, there's a stress hormone called cortisol. And what that cortisol does is that it goes to your liver. Your liver, when it goes to your liver, it harvests glucose for you. And glucose is your energy store. It's for you to run and everything, or for you to fight. Then it recruits some other hormones again. What are those hormones? Like adrenaline, like noradrenaline. What is that one doing? Like your heart rate will increase. If you see a snake right now, where you are right now, you have two options. Is either you throw the nearest objects at it, or you run for your dear life. Peradventure, let's now say you are in an enclosed room. You don't have access to the keys. You don't have access, and this is the snake staring at you. I bet it you will fight. So that is your response, is now what will cause, are you overwhelmed by it, or are you able to better cope with this situation? So I would like to debunk one myth, and that is that
Okay.
myth that there is eustress, there is distress. Many people are now talking like the HSC. The HSC is the higher school certification in international bodies. They are saying that stress is bad. For example, we used to say that ill stress is good stress. For example,
Yeah.
for you to get job promotions and everything. But this year, they have to review some things. That, how will I say stress is good? Let's call that pressure. There's a pressure on you. So the terminologies are beginning to change now, that what we call bad stress is bad stress. Distress is what is bad stress. For example, preparing for this slide now, preparing for this session will place a level of demand on me, because I have to say, oh, who are the people coming, I have to deliver, I have to read a lot, I have to check the latest studies. We don't want to call that stress anymore because it's a good form of stress. I'm also developing myself. I'm also passing knowledge. I'm also impacting people. So the dynamics of the world are even changing when it comes to mental health situations. They don't want to call people mentally ill. They don't want to say mentally challenged. They want to say you have a level
A
of
mental
mental
condition.
condition. You have to use a lot of um you have to use a lot of terminologies, a lot of things that people can identify with. Can you hear me, the encourager?
Yes, yes, I can. I can. Go
So,
ahead.
so long ago, many people will say eustress, distress as the type of stress. But now we classify all the bad stress into different types. For example, there can be work-related stress, there can be relationship stress, and the chief of it all, financial stress.
Yes, stress.
There's a lot of people going through financial stress, and I will just be enlightening us on so many things that can cause us to get stressed up, get bugged out, get a lot of even your environment can cause you stress.
Yeah.
Let's say your environment is not neatly arranged. You have it has an impact on your brain. A brain loves to compartmentalize things to say that okay, this is where this place is, this is where this. So when you are reaching out for this, you are getting this. But when everything is boggled up, that's causing a level of stress on you. That's an environmental stress, and so on and so forth.
All right. Thank you so much. So, what are some of the signs of okay, because you mentioned something very critical, and that's good when we talk about stress is actually our response to an overwhelming situation. So, what are some
Yeah.
of the signs that we should take note of that okay,
Okay.
I'm stressed, so I need to maybe take a break or do certain things. What are some of those things you should look out for?
Okay. So when you want to look at it, this is the best way I always explain it. Physical signs, physical symptoms come first, then they evolve into mental and psychological symptoms. So I'll take you through the the extremes. I'll start from how they start and how they evolve. For example, for physical stress, if you are stressed, like you are really stressed, there's a lot of demand on you. Your response, you are not able to cope because it is beyond your capacity. One of the first signs you feel is headaches. It's one of the commonest signs. Let's say because because there's a lot of demand on your brain
Yeah.
for you to create a situation out of it. So there's a lot of tension. It can be in the front, it can be at the side, it can be a frontal headache, it can just be a generalized headache. That's how it usually starts because it places a demand on your brain to give a solution right now. Then body pains ensue. Remember, I said that adrenaline, noradrenaline, they are responsible for the increased rates with your heart rate. So all these are pumping a lot of blood, run, run, fight, fight. So there's a lot of tension of your muscles. So you can notice your back is aching you. Let's say you've worked a lot on your system, your neck begins to ache you. Or let's say, for example, you carried a heavy load, you didn't carry it well. For example, your back begins to ache you. Or
Yeah.
let's say over the years, you are someone that you are always on your laptop bending like this. You notice so many people they start using cervical collars because there's a lot of tension on all those muscles.
Around
Then
that area.
what starts to happen again? Your blood pressure starts to get sustainably high. That is, over time, the cortisol just keeps pumping, the adrenaline just keeps pumping,
Hmm.
and your heart rate increases. The pressure at which it is pumping and all those things begins to increase again. So you have sustained elevated blood pressure. Let me tell you this story. When I was in Lagos, that's why I ran away from Lagos. Actually, I know personally that for me to be able to cope with stress, I need to sleep well. I need to sleep. My sleep is non-negotiable. But I'll go from, if you know Lagos very well, from
Yeah.
Bagala, I'll quickly go to Allen Avenue area to go
Wow.
and attend to some patients. After that, maybe the next day, I have to go to Lekki phase one.
Wow.
So anytime rain falls like this, it puts a lot of financial stress on me because all the transports skyrockets. I didn't plan for the
Yeah.
rain. And sometimes in Lagos, you can't follow Google Google rain weather updates. Things
Weather
go,
forecast. Yeah.
yes, weather forecast. It just goes haywire sometimes. So and I
Wow.
noticed that sustainably, my BP was getting above 130/80, and that's pre-hypertension. So I had to say, okay, because sometimes I will get home by 10, I will have to, or 11 or 12, quickly get fufu, because that's what can sustain me. Get fufu, eat. I was putting on weight and all those things. So it was taking a lot of toll on me because I'm an Ibadan guy. Let me put it, I've been in Ibadan all my life. So I'm not used to that level of stress. So my body kept complaining with body aches, and my blood pressure was already warning me that, guy, you'll soon get to the place that this thing will be sustainably here. Then what also happens is that early aging begins to set in. You can say I look young, and many people don't believe my age when they tell me. That's because I know how to manage stress. And those are some of the things I'll teach you. Then let's cross to the mental aspect, the mental signs and symptoms. You get anxious. What can I get out of this situation? Or how can I cope? What does the future hold for me? Nigeria
Yeah.
is dollar, blah 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 blah. How can I cope? Then you start getting tired. You get tired of the country. Anything Tinubu says rouse you up. You are tired of coming online. You are tired of chatting with your friends, and then depressive state starts setting in. You start to not feel happy, sustainably. You don't want to eat well, or some people even stress eat. For example, they eat a lot, and just to try to cope with the stress, then poor self-image will start coming. Oh, for females, for example, which self-image is very important. They start saying, oh, I have acne, because acne will start coming. Oh, I don't feel beautiful anymore. My boyfriend cuts the call on me. You don't know if the airtime has gone or something. You think it's because you are not beautiful anymore, that kind of thing. Then irritability. When you are getting to the point of irritability, getting easily triggered, you are about to start going to the extreme. For example, any small thing like this angers you, like you just drive around, you see people, they're so riled up. You're wondering what is the problem. Small thing like this, you play on like this, then the person can almost want to slap you. And you, why this is because there's a lot of stress on so many people. Then when you now get to the most extreme, there's poor social communication. You start to withdraw from people, and that's why the case of something that happened today where someone actually ended it all can happen. That's taking one's own life. That's the extreme of stress. And those are the signs, those are the symptoms you should watch out for. And don't wait for you to get to poor social communication. Reach out for help. There are available resources, there are available psychologists, there are available help desk. For example, so many people are ready to just listen to you and not criticize you for whatsoever you are going through. And so that is, well, those are the signs and symptoms one should look out for. Sorry, I can't hear you anymore. Hello, I can't hear you anymore. Can you hear me? You can hear me. I can't hear you anymore, so I'll swap to. If you can hear me, don't worry. I'll just put on a this thing. Okay, let me put on something. that can make you hear me better. I don't know why.
Sorry, how about now? Can you hear me now? These are some of the things that can stress you. Please come, let me know if you can hear me. These are some things that can stress you as all right. Thank you so much, Edo Queen. These are some things that can stress you as a work myself, a content creator now, someone who is doing a live. In fact, I don't want to mention the name of the network, but you know the name of the network. All right, so we've been having a conversation with Daddy Joe, who is a medical doctor, and he's been telling us what stress is, basically our response to an overwhelming situation, and some of the signs that we should take note of. So for physical signs, headaches, body pains, there could even be some disruptions in your sleep. All right, and then mental in our mental health in terms of irritability and you're anxious, so which is anxiety, your mood is up, maybe up or down. So it's either you're very angry or you're very sad. It could even lead to isolation. So these are signs that we need to take note of. And if we do not take note of these signs and we ignore these signs, it could lead to long-term consequences. So example of long-term consequences he mentioned physically is hypertension. Or I've seen this countless times that stress, whether mental stress or physical stress, actually leads to hypertension, which is high blood pressure. So the person is not doesn't necessarily have a family history of hypertension. The person is just undergoing back to back stress. So whether it's work related stress or financial stress, all right. I see a comment here that said Nigeria is a stressor on its own. So which is true. So these are some of the consequences that Daddy Ojo has taken us through. And yes, he's back. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me too?
Okay, I apologize. It was from my end. That's what I was saying. That's an example of a stressful situation as someone who is doing a live. I think I've learned to better cope with it. We'll soon talk about coping strategies. In the past, I would be so worked up. It would, my mood would practically um be spoiled as I'm doing the live. But I just use it as an example, like, guys, this is life. This is what's happening,
Yes, I
and
do.
then it makes me be more real. All right, thank you so much, Daddy Joe, in terms of how you've been able to speak to us about what stress is and everything. So, what are the common stressors that we face? I know you've mentioned financial stress, and so both. Okay, you're currently, you mentioned you're not in Ibadan, but could you just tell us some of the common stressors that maybe in your practice you've noticed, or generally in your interactions with people?
Okay. As I always say, like, if you remove, and I'm not being a materialistic. I won't want to feel like I'm a materialistic person, but this is reality. If you
Yeah.
remove financial stress from homes, many homes will stand. If you remove financial stress from many
Mm.
organizations will stand. If you remove financial stress from many people's personal lives, they will be happier. That's the chief stressor for most people. Also, some other stressors people face is dealing with grief.
Hmm.
That's one very big stressor because they are before they come to that place of accepting that the person has finally gone, they will deny, they will go through anger, they will go through everything. All those are stressful phases that, of course, someone that knows about trauma and recovery will be able to help you better recover. Then also, there are some things we do that stress us, and that's for example, if you want to be truthful to yourself,
Yeah.
I'm not being judgmental or anything. If they say choose between a smoothie and a fizzy drink. Many times when you are stressed, you want to go for the next big thing, which is the fizzy drink. Oh, quick energy. But do you know that the
Mm.
sucrose there, for your brain to be processing it, it gives a lot of stress. But the
Wow.
fructose within fruits, you will still get the same energy you want. But that's an healthier form of energy. That's something your brain can convert, your bodies can utilize, and you'll be glowing, literally glowing. So there are so many things we put in our diet, eating a lot of fatty meals. They put a lot of tension on people. There has been a relationship between fatty meals, going through stress, and having cancers. It is
Wow.
closely linked. And there are lots of studies still going there. Then indulging in fast food, indulging in red meat, they put a lot of stress on the body because the body finds it hard to kind of break all these things down to be able to make it something that it can be stored very well in your liver. For I won't go through all the or glyconeogenesis, all those. I don't want to bug you with all the science. Then also people that take alcohol, cigarettes to cope with stress, that is
Hmm.
actually causing you more stress
More stress.
because you have to go higher, you have to get to dependence level, you have to get to addiction, and you can't function properly without those substances. Then also, there are so many other things we must know about stress. So, for you to understand how you can develop effective coping mechanisms, let me just say that you have to know the contributors to stress and also the contributors to health. So that's what I'll be running through. And so we can better understand what are the things we are doing that, in a way, they are stress promoting or stress inducing, I mean, and what are the things we are doing that is health promoting. So I think we need to discuss about that. So can I go ahead?
Please, sir, just hold on a bit. As we're just mentioning those stresses, I'm like, okay, sir. So what do you want from us now? Okay, okay. Like that emoji say, okay, okay, you don't catch me, you don't
You
catch
don't
me.
catch you.
So you said a lot of things right now. So that we need to know the contributors and yeah, knowing the contributors to stress, examples of stress, financial stress, and that thing is key. So let me talk about it very quickly. But I just want to just do a some boy say, financial stress, even what we are doing by ourselves. And it's important, like you said, we need to tell ourselves the truth. We need to tell ourselves the truth that sometimes we are the contributor to ourselves. So instead of
Like we
us
are
just
our own village people.
yeah, so instead of us just taking a glass of cold water, let me just take this fizzy drink to do the work. Or and some people just tell me, when I smoke, I feel better, I feel calm. It's harmful. It does more harm. All right, so it's very, very important. Thank you so much, sir. So I just want to ask this financial stress in terms of coping with it because we need money to do things. All right, and we understand the situation in our host country because both of us are in Nigeria, and then is it the fuel scarcity, the price of food? In fact, everybody has turned to a chef because they are no more use. In fact, watermelon. The one I saw yesterday was watermelon soup. I'm like, hey, lady, people are. I know garden egg. I know garden egg sauce. I know that. But when I saw watermelon, I'm like, ah. So people are just looking for ways to just save up costs. But we
Mm.
need finances. A
Yeah.
man with a wife and children, let's say his salary is 50K, it finishes within a week, he will be stressed. So I want,
Mm-hmm.
when you're talking about coping strategies, if you can just give examples on how we can solve these kinds of issues for someone who doesn't really have enough finances to eat a balanced diet per se. Because even though when I have the opportunity to talk about stress and I talk about balanced diet, some people say, go so to
So
be buying.
yes.
Exactly. So I want you to be able to speak to us about how we can cope with this financial stress, even concerning our diet, even work-related stress.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah.
are saying that, oh, my boss is toxic, my boss is toxic. And I've realized that, sir, sometimes not that the boss is toxic. Oh. Maybe the person is just lazy. And the person
Yeah.
is
The
like,
boss wants results. Wants results.
yes, of course, they are toxic bosses. So even that coping also has to do with us building ourselves to be more resilient. I want you to talk about those aspects in terms of financial stress, how we can cope with financial stress, how we can cope with work-related stress, and then maybe family. You can touch on family stress. Over to you,
Okay,
Daddy
so
Ojo.
all right. So of course there are many contributors. Lack
Yes.
of exercise, toxic work environment, poor social skills, unassertiveness, poor sleep, poor hygienic environment, poor work-life balance. Let me pause there. So let us understand that there's a significant difference between your personal life and your professional life, and they are closely related. However, they encroach on one another if you are not careful. So
All
let me
right.
give you this example. Let's say you you used to earn, figuratively, let's say 100,000. As at 2020, you got a job. You used to earn 20,000, no, 100,000. I mean, and then you are due for promotion. They are not promoting you. Why? They are saying that other people applying are not getting promoted. They can't just carry you over the people who are ahead of you, blah, 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 and all that. So the onus lies on you to develop skills that will make you indispensable.
Mm.
So when you get indispensable, it's either the organization can pay you or someone else can be able to pay you that worth of value you have. Because that 100,000, let's say for example, you out of that you give your tithe, that's 10,000. You are left with 90,000 for the Christians. For the Muslims, they will give alms, they will give to the poor, they'll support people, support family. And you are not budgeting, you are just spending, you are just,
Mm.
it will never be enough. So
Risky.
you must understand that there's a place for budgeting,
Budgeting.
there's a place for savings, there's a place for investments, there's a
Mm.
place for getting a lot of financial education so you can have multiple streams of income. Because I tell you, if you are still in that organization that is paying you 100,000, you won't scale up.
Mm.
If you don't build up skills, if you don't build up things that can make you earn more. I tell people this problem of economic or global crisis is just like COVID, it's a global thing.
Yes. Yes. To be
Whether you
honest, it is.
accept or not, or whether you say the government of Nigeria is not doing well, the government of UK is not doing well, the government of US is not doing well, we understand that there's a world dynamics, a lot of politics, crises, wars that are playing parts in the global crisis we are in now. What is within your control? What is within your control right now is for you to earn more. It's for you to be prudent in your savings. It's for you to learn about investments. It's for you to know that as much as possible, you must have emergency funds. All those things, they are basic. Or else,
Mm.
when, for example, you have malaria, you can't be begging people that, sorry, I have malaria. Everybody has malaria. Nobody will answer you. So
Wow.
that is it. There's a lot we have to
Practical
do
steps.
with ourselves.
Yeah.
There are some times that you can't say yes to everything. You have to be assertive with some things. There's nothing working in a situation and you want to still keep pulling through and you are saying that is you not giving up, you will break down.
Hmm.
You have to know when to push and you have to know when to let go. It's
Yeah.
a soft skill. You can't keep pushing, pushing, pushing without resting, without unwinding, without practicing self care. And you say
Yeah.
you will have the same level or better level of productivity. It is against all the laws of nature. You have to refuel that energy. And so we must understand that eating likes of whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and all those things will help you to stack up a lot of nutrients within your body. So you have a building mechanism, a fighting mechanism against diseases. So you know that your health is settled.
Yeah.
Yes, you might still fall ill. Maybe you went somewhere, mosquito bit you. You went somewhere, you ate in a party, maybe food poisoning or something, a rumbling stomach and everything. But you know that it's not every day all those things are happening.
Yes.
You must know that you must practice self care. I tell people Sunday is my self care day. Please don't stress me on Sundays. God worked for 6 days. On the seventh day, He rested. So me too, I must rest. So have a day you rest.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of the episodes of the encouragement series. It was one of the things that made me join because when you were speaking a lot about self care, having a self care day, and I can remember that time you offered some people like, um, you offer them services of how to get through stress. Or I can remember that
An
was the first time
assessment.
I'll meet you.
Wow.
That
Wow.
was the
Yeah.
very first time I'll meet you, and it struck a chord that Toby, you must rest. Why do I say that? I came from a background that you must work hard.
Hmm.
You must work hard. My parents won't give you anything on a platter until they've seen that you've done about 80 to 90% of the work. Personal responsibility. So I grew up hearing my dad say, "Man, don't weak." He works a lot and he will get so weak. So I came to a point that in med school too, I will read, I will stress myself until I break down. And I was
Wow.
like, no, this can't continue. So I had to learn how to see. I've gone through psychotherapy before. It doesn't mean I am quote and unquote mental. I just needed to get results for that phase of my life. And it gave me a
Right.
lot of stress coping mechanisms. I can use music, I can use showers, water therapy, massage. I can see many people think that all this stress management, this thing that is something big, something expensive. Do you know that if you just get 8 hours of sleep every day,
Yeah.
you are about 80% better of the general population?
That's right.
You are like 80% better. You are more optimum. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know that if all what you do is take 2 to 3 liters of water every day, your stress level will significantly reduce? Why? When situations are happening around you, it takes up a lot of your body's system, your nutrients are getting drained, you are looking dry and everything. So you need to replenish. So the quote, drinking water and minding my business,
Business.
please, sometimes you have to drink water and mind your business because your health will thank you for it. Then ability to say no.
Hmm.
I must say this again. You must not say yes to everything. Have boundaries, healthy boundaries. Someone is telling you that, can we speak by 12 p.m.? You know that by 9 p.m. you're already sleeping. And you know that what the person just wants to gist about is mundane things, things that are not profitable to both the person and to you. And you know, the next day, you have a long day at work. Just say,
Yeah.
no, can we defer to another time? Trust me, even if they take an offense and you call back that other time, you are able to guide the person that, okay, this time is my rest time. It's non-negotiable. I rest that time. So we must know that we must have excellent sleep life. We must also develop our social skills for you to be able to scale up in life, scale up in your finances, for you to be able to better know things. You must know that man is not created to be an island. You must learn from people. You must learn from people. You must know that for you to cope with stress better, you must have a team of people that love you, people that you can just call for support, people that there are shoulders you can lean on. Because for
Yeah.
you to scale up in life, you don't have all the resources. You can't have all the time to do some things on your own. You have to learn from the experience of others. How are they coping
Okay.
in this economy? You should watch YouTube videos. Just Google it. How to make money legitimately. Lots of things will pop up for you that you have the ability to do. And so I don't want you to say, this thing is so complex, this thing is so hard, and life is, that is a victim mentality. And that
Yeah.
is one of the things you must learn, that you are responsible for everything that happens in your life. Let me take that
Wow.
again. You are responsible for everything that happens in your life. If someone
Hmm.
made you angry, it's your decision to be angry. You can always look away. You can
Yeah.
always walk away.
Hmm.
You can always even say to yourself, it seems this one doesn't even understand the situation that is around me. I have bigger things to worry about. Read
Exactly.
about books. Read from Dale Carnegie, how to stop worrying and start living. Learn to manage your anxiety levels.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
all these things, you balance it. You don't take work home. You don't take your own issues to work. Separate them. Because once you are able to separate all these things, then you can say that you are doing well in life, and then things will not overwhelm you. And the most important thing is that learn to let go of things that are beyond your control. Dollar is
Hmm.
beyond your control. That's for CBN governor, Minister of Finance to be thinking about. But work on things within your control, things you can control, how you can earn, how you can save, how you can manage your finances, how you can support missions that, in grand scheme of things, is giving you a lot of joy. You know, there's a thing you do for people that you know they can't pay you back, and it relieves your stress immediately.
Yeah.
And that is life. Life is about all
Wow.
those kind of things. And don't just be self-centered. Don't just make things, oh, me. You are putting on a lot of pressure on yourself.
On
Reach out to,
yourself.
hug people. I tell people I hug my family. Me, oh, I hug. There's nothing feminine about that. I can hug my family very, very well, because it relieves my stress.
Yeah.
Anytime I go to my parents' house, the dog is almost jumping out of his skin. He runs to me. Immediately I open the door, we are cuddling, because it releases oxytocin. It crashes my
Definitely.
stress level immediately. So we must
Hmm.
know all these things, because the more you know how to manage stress, the more you seek out how to better cope with stress, the lesser your stress level, because stress is what we will all go through for us to scale up in life. I call it transition phase. For you to move from your phase to the next phase, you need some level of knowledge, you need some level of skill, you need some level of expertise that will make you function at that higher level. And if you are not able to build up that capacity, you will be stressed.
Woo! Please, everyone, just clapping emojis. I know this is a virtual meeting, but I'm already moving in my chair. This is the fact. Everything you've said is the fact. So please, you're listening to me. Please let us give our guest speaker, Dr. Joe, clap. Let's clap for him. It's really you've simplified it, because people think that, oh, stress management, coping skills, oh, it's too much. I'd rather continue what I've been doing. But it's as little as drinking water and minding your business. It's as little as that 200K that seems not to be enough, planning for it. Even in that 200K, no matter how much is little, you are saving, you are investing. And when we say investment, we shouldn't think, of course, there's a big investment, but we have little investments we can do, like having an app and then just saving, let's say, 1,000 or 2,000 a month, and just locking it there. These little things can help us. And then just imagine at the end of 6 months, you see, so I've saved this amount of money. But what will stress us is when after that 6 months, we didn't save, we didn't invest, and we feel I haven't done anything in 6 months, I don't have any savings. That can also be stressful. So thank you so much. And even something you mentioned in terms of dealing with work-related stress, see it as something, okay, what's within my control? I want to be promoted, but I need certain skills, I need certain knowledge that will make me excel there. So look at what you are going through as a phase to transition you there. It's all about mindset. And like we learned during our training for John C. Maxwell Equip Facilitators, attitude. What's our attitude to stress? And you said it, we shouldn't have a victim mentality. Because that's it. When I don't really like news, but doctor watches news. All right. And then I just happen to see, okay, this thing that's happening in Nigeria, it's not only Nigeria. So, but we just need to have that mentality of what can I do? What problems can I solve? And that's how we cope with stress. And you mentioned about sleep. I want to talk about that in terms of how for people who say, oh, they sleep and then they wake up tired, they find difficulty sleeping or staying asleep. How can they improve their sleep hygiene? Because sleep is critical. It's critical to
Okay,
their physical health, to their mental health. Over to you, sir.
thank you so much. So this is very critical because there are three pillars of health. The
Mm,
first pillar is your nutrition. The second pillar is your exercise. The third pillar is your sleep. Those are the foundational basis of health. Of course, when you now talk about wellness, that's all the other parts I've spoken about, avoiding drugs, all those things. They are still pillars. But the foundational base is that, are you eating well? Are you exercising? And are you sleeping well? So the golden rule of sleep, I'll tell you today, and I want you to note it, please. There are some golden rules that once you follow these golden rules, I'm telling you, all this insomnia, all these non-restorative sleep, that is, you are waking up from sleep, is just like you just slept about 2 minutes ago. They will be
mm,
off. There are some signs that you will know that once someone starts doing this, they are sleep deprived. For example, because something hypersomnolence, they are just sleeping everywhere. They are driving, they are sleeping. That's bad. And also, we also know about insomnia. The person can't just get to sleep. So, the first rule is that establish a regular sleep pattern, please. What does this mean? You wake up and sleep at the same time every day, even on weekends.
mm,
What does this do for you? There's what we call the circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is your sleep wake cycle. I have a sleep wave cycle that I've mastered. In fact, if I offshoot to sleep in the middle of the night, I end up waking up at the same time because it has regulated itself at that level. So you must have a regular sleep pattern that, okay, oh, it is 8 hours I want to sleep, but never less than 7.5 hours, please. It is 8 hours I want to sleep. I'm doing 9 to 5. Because, for example, if you read so many books, so many researches and everything, there are even what we call chronotypes. Chronotypes are like, for your personality, you are more of a morning person. For your personality, you are more of an evening person. And the book you can get on that, I think the book is The Power of When. Yes, that's the name of the book. The
okay.
Power of When. So you know when you study yourself, and it can help you carve out how to manage your emotions better, all with how you sleep. For example, I'm an
Mm,
evening person. If you made this session early in the morning, around 6, it will be a struggle for me to be here. But I've established a regular sleep wake cycle that even if you study my status, it's almost at that same time I post every time. Even if you see RM, if you call me, my do not disturb mode is going off at that time. But I don't wake up with alarm. Once you are needing alarm to wake up, you have messed up your sleep cycle. It's time to have a regular sleep wake cycle. Then create healthy sleep habits.
mm,
This is the number two thing. For example, you should be in a cool, a dark, a quiet place that relatively there's no much noise disturbing
no.
you. There's no too much light entering into your eyes. It can be dimly lit or total blackout. What does this do for you? There's an hormone called melatonin, and it helps you to better your sleep is restorative. You you are on, like, it's not like you are dead, but like, the only thing happening to you is your heart pumping and your brain working. Oton. and your brain that is working is not working round the clock in a stress. There are different parts. Yes, The Power of When by Dr. Michael Bruce. We call him the sleep doctor. It's a fantastic book you can read to understand your chronotype. Then also avoid stimulating activities just before you go to sleep. Avoid psychostimulants just before you go to sleep. For example, using caffeine. Oh, I want to take Coke now so I can quickly finish this work on the laptop. It will mess up your sleep cycle. Oh, I want to take alcohol so I can feel high and sleep. It will mess up your sleep cycle. And also, learn to practice relaxation techniques when you're about to sleep.
Yeah.
Deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, and all this will help you to. I'm still going further because you need to now prioritize your sleep over some activities.
Yes. And not feel bad about it or feel guilty.
Yes, don't feel guilty when you are sleeping and someone calls you and says, "Did you hear about the death of this person? I beg, let's talk tomorrow." It's not bad. Or I'm just sleeping now. Or you just put your phone on do not disturb and you sleep off. Don't feel bad prioritizing your sleep over the most mundane things. Of course, they can call you for emergencies or something. You can, all those ones are rare cases, but not that someone is just disrupting your sleep, calls you at the wrong time when you are sleeping. Just say, can we make it this time? Or can you schedule a call for it?
Thank you so
And
much,
most
Doctor. Yeah, so sorry, still on this sleep. For someone, I just want to know how are you able to navigate all of this for someone with your kind of profession? Because I know there's some people here that may have either a business or a career or both that makes it difficult for them to actually do all of this. So how are you able to navigate it? I know the country we're in, patients can just call you. I mean,
mhm.
you're a doctor, so patients can just call you, at any time, this or that, or how do you structure all of these sleep patterns and sleep hygiene with your busy schedule for people who
Okay,
are
okay, this is what I do. If you are a patient, you can call them clients, we talk. If you're a patient and you say, "Doctor, please, I want to discuss more on this consultation time and everything is I just want to discuss more on this and everything so I can get the best out of my health." I tell them, call me at 7 p.m. Call me at 8 p.m. Immediately, I'm going to my calendar. I'm inputting it 7 to 8. I don't offshoot that time.
Mm.
We can always reschedule. I always tell my patients, like, it's on rare cases I get home late. My work, basically, at the moment, the way I've structured it, the way I negotiated my contract, is from 8 to 5. 5:01, I'm out. And
Is
that
that
is
really? What if you have a patient or an emergency by 4:50?
okay. So, this is what I do in cases like that.
Yeah.
I allow my empathy to judge over sympathy. I allow
Okay.
my empathy to, oh, this thing. But I'm telling you that if someone is coming for headache, my colleague that is on duty at that time can see. But if it's an emergency, everyone is struggling to preserve their life. Of course, it's my duty, it's within the ethics of the medical profession to reach
Yeah.
out and save that life. But you are not calling me 12 a.m. And someone called me 2 p.m. one day, like 2 a.m. I mean, one day. And for example, my phone just notified me that is the do not disturb is on now.
9 p.m. Yeah.
You
Mine is
understand?
at
So that
8.
9 p.m. I can use it to relax, bond with my family, and all that. That is me compartmentalizing my life. But if I just muggle up, you can call me at any time. I'm always available. I'm one call away. People will mess up with your sleep wake cycle and it will tell on your body because you won't be able to function optimally in your
Mm.
work during the day. Everyone expects that once your work is between 8 to 5, within that 8 and 5, you are optimum, and that's what you are being paid for.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just want us to address very quickly. Please, if you have questions, you can start noting them down in the comment section. We'll get to it very quickly. Please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. All right, sir. So in terms of for healthcare workers, you're a doctor, I'm a psychologist. I have Olajumoke is here, she's a nurse. Compassion fatigue. You know that you should go home by 5, but let's say one of your favorite clients came in by 5:15, or they've called you ahead, and this person keeps on doing this. So because of, oh, compassion, this is my client, the client says, oh, I want you, I don't want Dr. X, I want you to attend to me, and you know this client can talk and talk and
I
talk.
get a lot of that.
Exactly. So how do you manage all of that? And you know that this client can take an extra 1 hour, and you've already planned your rest for that day. So how do you handle situations like that? And how can we as healthcare professionals prevent burnout?
Awesome. So let me refer you to when I was starting my house job. I actually
Okay.
wrote it in my new book, Lessons for a Medic. You see, I broke down because I was trying to be the savior of the whole world. There's
Hmm.
a golden rule. You see, Jesus Christ did that. You are not the savior of the whole world.
Yeah.
You are not the savior of the whole world. You must know that there's a difference between empathy, sympathy, compassion, and being in servitude. Is
Hmm.
service to humanity, not slavery to humanity. You must
Right.
understand that as much as possible, once your patient, the person will drag you, you have a family engagement, you must spend family time, because work-life balance is important. Because your spouse will start getting left out. If you have kids, your kids will say, oh, well, whenever mommy, whenever daddy is on the phone, whenever mommy, daddy, I don't even see daddy and everything. And that can affect their self-image, that can
Yeah.
affect their growth. It has been well established that children that are not nurtured well, that is, you don't have time to connect with them, you don't talk with them, you don't interact with them, their growth usually is stunted. And at a point in time, they'll start feeling inferior to their taller friends. At
Hmm.
a point in time, they get subjected to bullying. At a point in time, they start having withdrawal, poor self-image, just from that parent not having time to nurture that child.
Wow.
Oh, you look quarrelsome. Oh, have you eaten? Simple questions like that will help us as we grow in our career and as we start having children, as we start developing ourselves. It has been well established that if you don't have time for your spouse, it is always work. Always work. You might start drifting apart because there will be no connecting factor anymore. So you have to be intentional about letting your spouse know that, okay, can we go out on this? Be intentional, because healthcare is ready. See, I always tell people, because I'm a writer and I'm also an author, I say both. I found myself in two jealous professions. Healthcare is very jealous. There's always one person falling ill, and you have to
Yeah.
put up compassion for that person. There's always someone that all the person needs is that the encourager, you are the one that can speak life to me. And you have to start striking the balance that am I having a messiah complex?
Hmm.
Am I doing the right thing? And so this is even talking to me. I'm talking to myself as well. Because as much as I encourage people, I put it in my lens to what am I doing wrong? Because self-evaluation is what will make us grow. Then learn to liaise with other professions. Practice multidisciplinary approach to
Approach.
care. Don't say you can be the psychologist, the psychiatrist, the physiotherapist. Bah. Give it out to other people. Oh, refer to other experts. Oh, I think I've been able to work on the psyche of this person. Oh, I think I've been able to work on the body of this person. Oh, I think I'll be able to work on the sleep, because they are sleep clinicians too, on the sleep of this person. Please, doctor, this thing, can you help me give this person a medication just to relax within 3 days? So the person
Yeah.
gets this. That's a multidisciplinary approach. Then know when to refer and don't hold on to patients needlessly. You must know when to refer. When it's getting beyond you, refer to experts above you. Oh, this thing is taking a lot of time. It's taking a lot. I've exhausted all my knowledge, all my expertise. So you don't now get to that compassion phase where you might now start blaming yourself that how I wish I had known. Those kind of things will help you to know that you don't burn out. You don't go to the extremes of trying to give care, and also the compassion fatigue doesn't. You there are some times that you just you are not being you are not being lazy. You are not
Yeah.
in a good space. Can we reschedule?
Yes.
Any reasonable person will reschedule.
Yeah.
There are
Okay.
sometimes they can't afford to reschedule. Can I pass you on to my other colleague? He or she will also do an excellent job and will communicate with me. That is, we will discuss in a confidential way, and so we are still managing you as a team.
Together.
So all those things I touched on it in my book, Lessons for a Medic, and also I talked a bit about it on how to have a stress-free year to be able to smash your goals, even as a medical profession. You have some things you want out of life. You want some things in your business. You have a business side. You have all this side, and so you can marry everything together and definitely scale higher in your life and without burning out. Because don't burn
Wow.
out. Don't burn out.
Yeah. Thank you so much. In fact, I think you said it really. I remember when the first place I worked as a clinical psychologist. The book is out. The book is out already, right? Or is pre-order?
The book Lessons for a Medic
Yes,
is out for pre-order.
pre-order.
Then
Okay.
How to Have a Stress-Free Year, it has been out
All
since
right, all right, all right.
2023.
I'll send the details after. Someone just commented that she's anticipating the book, so it's a pre-order link. All right. I remember the first office I worked in as a clinical psychologist, and the HOD just told me, "See, Josephine, you are not a savior." That she said
Mm.
she tells everybody that because she had that when she was starting off as well. She had that, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And then I started off working in the addiction space. So I was working in a private
Mm.
rehab. So you can imagine, and you know how addiction management can be very draining. So
Yeah.
you've done therapy for 6 months, and then your patient relapses, the family is upset. What have you been doing? You affect your mood. But when
Mm.
I was able, although I still struggle with it, let me be honest, because you're giving a lot, and then your
Mhm.
patient now relapses, or your patient slips back into depression or anxiety. This has not
Mm.
happened to me yet, but I've had colleagues who their patients died by suicide.
Mm.
Right? So
Mm.
these things can
Mm.
actually be stressful as a healthcare professional, right? But it's
Mm.
important that, like you mentioned earlier, we separate our personal lives from our career, and that would help us manage the stress that comes with our work. So this is the
Can you give
final.
me 1 minute, please?
Yes, yes, sure, sure.
Okay, I'll be back soon.
All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. This has been an enlightening session for me, and also I hope for you as well. So this is the June edition of the encouragement series. Basically, what we do here is we bring different professionals from different walks of life, where they get to redefine mental health, where they get to educate us about their own mental health journeys and inspire us to live a meaningful and purposeful life. So, for the month of June, we've been talking about how we can manage stress effectively, whether it's financial stress, work related stress, family stress. And Dr. Joe has given us simple tips that we can do, drinking water, watching our diet, sleeping well, connecting with people. Even this one I know helps, going out into the sun. Don't tell me, oh, you're an introvert and you like staying all inside all day. It can increase levels of anxiety. So just
Yeah.
going out to get some level of sunlight has actually shown to alleviate some levels of anxiety. So these are coping strategies we've talked about. And he just finished addressing us health professionals that we are not saviors, we are not messiahs. So we should do our best and of course leave the rest, because to be honest, we are not responsible for the lives of our clients. They need to put into practice what we tell them. Like, for example, I need to put in practice what you've told us tonight. Same thing with people that are listening to us. So my final question for us before we go into questions, I haven't seen any question yet, but please, if you have a question, this is the time to drop it. A lot of people find it difficult to reach out. Like, you were honest with us that you had to go into therapy because you were stressed. How can we deal with that stigma of I'm stressed, I'm burnt out, but
Okay.
I'm afraid to go for therapy? Yes.
Um, I don't. I don't know if this is allowed. Can I mention names of brands?
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Okay. Let me just give generalized examples
Okay.
to buttress points. So
Yes.
I know. Let me do that. For example, in my church, name withheld, there's a men's fellowship arm. So in the men's fellowship arm, we meet sometimes, like maybe once in a month. Sometimes, if all of us are so busy, no one is, like at least once in 3 months. What do we do together? We pray together, we play together, and we hold people accountable that okay, this is the problem I'm going through. Like,
Yeah.
can you give me solutions? For example, I belong to that group. That's me feeding my spirituality and connecting with my social group, which is church in this case. For example, I met another person on this platform that has spoken. He owns a man's academic kind of thing, and I had to reach out to him that I've observed some things about my life. I sabotage on some things. He's a clinical psychologist. Can you take me through some steps to overcome this? He took me through the steps. That is reaching out. My
Yeah.
mentor, for example, I always reach out to him. What do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? He will give me guidance. There's a foundation, mental health foundation I belong to. I reach out to the CEO. Oh, what do you think about this? This post you made, I think this thing is addressing this, just to get clarity. The Encourager Consulting Group, what we are doing right now, is also letting you know that help is abundant. There
Filippo.
is
Yeah.
no shame to seek and access care. There is no shame whatsoever. Mental
Mm-hmm.
health conversations should be such that we are not ashamed to have it. Because what is mental health? Mental health is not mental ill health. Many people think mental health is mental disorder. No, for you to be able to function well, for you to be able to produce something constructive for the society, for you to be able to cope with daily stresses of your, that's when we call you mentally healthy. But if there's a challenge on all your productivity, your contribution to life, you can't cope, little stress, you are going down, you are this thing, you need help. So there's nothing bad for you to seek help. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
Christian, so let me give you an example. There was a time that Saul was, quote unquote, depressed. He called for David to play music because music is what? Therapy. That's one of the things you learn in how to have a stress free year. That's one. There was a time that David, the musician, was in trouble. He called on Jonathan, his son. Can you see no one is really in isolation?
Yeah.
There was a time that Jesus Christ was in distress and he went to check Peter. He just had to tell them, pray for me, you guys now, you've been following me. So we need to know that as much as possible, God created us all to need each other.
Yeah.
That's how we are all created. That no man is an island. No man is has it all figured out. No man has all the answers. So when you have some pressing, burning issues, reach out for help. Anyone that uses it against you, that's the person's problem. Sometimes what you need is not even someone telling you, talking down on you. What you just need is a listening ear, and you provide all the answers by yourself.
Mhm.
And God has created us all to need each other. When I'm down, can I reach out to you? When you are down, can you reach out to me? That's what makes us interconnected. And the world is so interconnected now that you don't even have to be in the same geographical location to access help, to get help. There are lots of resources that the encourager has, paying to purpose. You are going through all those kind of things. You don't have to say, oh, she was no, there's confidentiality in our profession. Reach out for help. You're having problem with your branding. There are some people that you will reach out for. Their financial coaches, their life
Yeah.
coaches, their purpose coaches. Help is abundant. Don't feel like, don't suffer scarcity in the midst of abundance. Help is
Abundance.
abundant.
Woo! Don't suffer or don't experience scarcity. Or what did you say? What's that first part?
Don't suffer scarcity in the
Okay.
midst of
In the midst
abundance.
of abundance. So there's help available. I've even realized that it's sometimes not even about money because we have NGOs that actually offer free psychosocial counseling. All right. But that stigma is there. So, like you said, it's your life. So you need to improve yourself so that you can achieve your purpose, which is all what we are out for here at the Encourager Consulting Group, achieving your purpose and living a life of meaning. Very, very important. So thank you very much, Daniel Joe. Please let us celebrate our guests. Let us say thank you. I don't see any questions here, but let's just celebrate our guests. This has been eye-opening for me. In fact, I just had to smile because me 2 years ago and I'm having a live show and then there's network issue or my audio was not working, I will practically be, but I was just laughing. So it means that we deliberately, when you deliberately work on yourself and tell yourself these things happen, I cannot be perfect. Of course, I've broken down time after time after time, and it's not a good thing. So I don't want to go there anymore. All right. So I'm really, really grateful for the things that you've taught us. Some things are new, some things are things we're just reminded of. So please let us not suffer in the midst of abundance. Let us reach out. Let us understand that stressors would always be there. Some would always be there, but it is our decision. It is our responsibility to respond to them accurately and appropriately in the way that will be best for us and for our lives. So at this point, I would like you, Daddy Odo, to just tell us more about you. Please tell us about your books. Um, Olajumoke, kindly post the link as well to his seller account, so that way you have access to all of his books. And they're at ridiculous prices. When I say ridiculous, as low as 1,000 naira. So please invest in yourself. Buy his books, and if you say no, I can't afford therapy, buy that one. All right, and practice the things that you read. So that your job, just tell us more about your brand, how we can work with you, how we can reach out. Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Tobiloba Ojo. That's what I call my name. However, people are saying, "Ah, why don't you put doctor there? Now you're a medical doctor." Yes, I'm a medical doctor. I am also an author. I've authored 5 books now. The first was
Wow.
Reflections in the Dark. That's a book that touches on for 30 days, you are reading some pieces that is taking you from a downtime to a place of clarity and strength to overcome situations. For example, someone read it and he said he was undergoing financial crisis and he read poem 3 called Late Bloomberg's Great Harvest, and he said he actually had the confidence to speak with one of the stakeholders in his fish farming, and he sealed a millionaire deal that it has never happened before. And
Wow.
that's because the person took up the responsibility of actually reading and reflecting on it, even though the person was at that dark phase of, oh, the career is, the money, blah blah blah, is going down and all that. Then the second book I released that officially was the book How to Have a Stress-Free Year, and that's about navigating and able to smash your goals for the year without breaking down. So what that book has just been able to do for so many readers is that it takes people through small steps of how they can move from, oh, this thing is stressing me. I think I need to just take a walk. There's a place I call a
Mm.
walk in the park. You just walk with nature. I go to gardens sometimes just to relieve stress, unburden myself. Sometimes I go to book clubs. We discuss books, we laugh at ourselves, we play music, we play like children. We play 10 all those things just to relieve stress. There are sometimes that I just listen to music. I'm a music person, for example. You can see this. I'm almost always with my boombox just to relax, unwind, and all that. That is also another book I wrote. Then I wrote a book for children called Never Give Up. And that book is just a book of story that expresses the story of a child that had to navigate a lot of problems and had to develop resilience for him to be able to overcome adversity. So many children in the Children's Day, they were just saying, "Thank you, Daddy Ojo, thank you, Daddy Ojo." I was so happy. And then my latest book is called Lessons for a Medic, because I noticed that there's a lot of things that medics are not getting right. And if you want to have an idea, what does this book, what's it about? So just go to my profile and click on just search, just in fact, just search Tobiloba Ojo on Google. You see my name, you see lots of my resources.
Yeah.
Just the name Tobiloba Ojo is there. I always tell people that I want to get to a point that once you just hear Tobiloba Ojo, you just think Daddy Ojo, Daddy Ojo, Daddy Ojo. That's just, and I'm putting on a lot of work into doing that and managing my stress too effectively to be able to do that. So I know if you pick interest in any of the books, I know there are some 3,000, some 1,000. There are books that you can read, or your children can read, or even your godson, your goddaughter, your mentee can read, and they can scale up better. Because my brand is called Daddy Ojo. Let's live an impactful life. So life shouldn't be empty. Life shouldn't be without purpose. Life shouldn't be without significance. Let us live an ideal life, and we need all the mental capacity, and we need all the ways to overcome adversity, because they will come, and it
Yeah.
depends on how well we build
Yeah.
capacity to be able to overcome all those things.
That's right. Thank you so much, sir. Everyone, please, I have posted the link to his online store on Seller, Daddy Ojo, or like you said, if you can't copy directly from YouTube, just search for Daddy Ojo, Tobiloba Ojo on Google, and then his profile will come up, or Tobiloba Ojo on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook. You would see his profile there. Just go to the link in his bio, and then you can look for ways to interact with him as well. So thank you so much once again. A lot of
Thank
people
you,
are
the
saying thank
encourager.
you. People are
Thank you for
saying
bringing me.
okay, you're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
all for staying to this point. And for those that couldn't join from the beginning, you can always watch the replay so you can effectively know how to better manage your stress. And
Absolutely.
I'm at Daddy Ojo on every platform at Daddy_Ojo. So if you have questions about the books, maybe you read something is not so clear to you, I can always give you some level of clarity on it.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much, sir. And to my audience, I say thank you. If you're watching this video and you've not subscribed, subscribe. Why?
Go
It
and
doesn't
subscribe. Go and subscribe.
it doesn't don't click it now,
Daddy
sir.
Ojo
Watching
said
me.
so. Go and subscribe.
All right, so our next edition will be in July. Remember, we meet every last Thursday of the month, 8 p.m. West African time. And we're going to be talking about my mental health as a writer. So if you know you're a writer, I'm bringing up my friend, Caris Gabriel, internationally trained writer. She's a ghost writer. She does a lot of things. And she's also a content creator, but we're bringing the writing aspect, writing blog, all of those terminologies, how you can manage your mental health around the writing space. So please see us, expect us next month. We have encouragement series as under the playlist. So in case you want to go back to any of our previous shows, you can. And also, I released a podcast about 3 weeks ago titled "The Diary of a Doctor's Wife." I have 3 episodes out. Please watch the 3 episodes as well. And then we have, what's the final one? Educational videos. I think on Wednesday or Sunday, rather, on Sunday, I hosted a webinar, how to set and execute goals effectively. So we have such videos like that, a lot of resources, free resources for you that you can eat, munch on, and feed on. All right. Once again, I want to appreciate you, Daddy Joe. Thank you so much for sharing, for pouring out yourself to us tonight. We are grateful. And to my audience, thank you so much. To my amazing Olajumoke, I thank you so much as well. And I'll see you all next month in the July edition of the Encouragement series. Bye.